Hello, do you feel the vibes through the phone? Yes. Did you know that you can connect your mind to places that come forward even through your phone? For instance, I was watching some TikTok videos where people were in India and looking at the old buildings, and then yet again some old ancient buildings in Egypt. Some of these places gave me amazing vibes, and some of them had vibes that I was like, no, thank you. Vibes are the word vibe is probably should be the name of this year, this decade, really. Vibe is everything. If I love your vibe, yay. I don't like your vibe, then bye-bye, right? Vibes are all things, and our vibe and our energy is a language. If my vibe makes you feel good, then that language is, hey, I love you. I do. I love your vibe. And then if I don't make you feel good, then maybe you don't like me. Maybe you think I'm a jerk. Whatever. So welcome. My name is Mary Moses. We are in the forest part of Forest Fairy. I am an oracle. In these lives, we often talk about making things with our hands, do it yourself. But most importantly, we do an ancient art form called scrying. This is covering a piece of paper with charcoal and creating a television, a telepathic vision, as God and our deceased loved ones and spirit guides speak through telepathy, known as telepathic vision. I call it a television. Some people call it looking glass. Some people just call it the art of seeing or scrying. And I've been doing this for 15 years, but for TikTok, I've been doing it about 4 years. And today I brought some fun things to show you guys. I'm going to turn my hot glue gun on very quickly. Some things that you can do with your hands, with nature, to encourage you to talk to nature. So one day I was outside in my cypress forest, and I saw this piece of wood, and I turned it into a mask. It only has one eye, but this is a cypress bark with herbs on it. And then I put felt on the back with some elastic, and I used hot glue to keep it together. But it was like the trees were like, oh, look what you can make out of, the energy of death. You can take things and bring things back to life. And so I made this cool mask. Thank you so much for the gift. I love you. And then, okay, we're going to put that over here. And then I made this mask. There was another piece of wood, and I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like a bird beak. And this is a cypress bark. And so I put lavender, mint, thyme, oregano, acorns, roses, and all kinds of things. So it's like wood and herbs as a mask. And then I just put felt on the back so it's nice and comfortable with an elastic band. And it's a gift from nature. It really cost maybe $1 to make, but it's so cool, isn't it? It smells good. You can actually anoint these because they're made of wood with essential oils. The mask and the crown is about taking off the false face and wearing the crown of truth. So when I began making these crowns, I think it was a communication to my higher self that I was going through, looking to see who I truly was. So I encourage you guys to go out into nature, and maybe you go out in nature and you find a stick that wraps around itself, and you take this cool stick and you turn it into a goddess, a rainbow goddess with crystals, and you decide to paint her, and maybe she glows in the dark. But whatever you do, just know that nature out there, you can make things out of nothing. You can upcycle, and you can make incredible stuff with your hands and have fun with it. So I brought you something silly. This is a matchbox, and what I do is I call these matchbox fairies. I have them on my website. Matchbox Fairy is a lotion bar. Let's see if I can show it to you. I'll turn it around this way. You see the face of the angel? right there. And you apply it with a matchbox stick. And what I do with these matchboxes, instead of throwing them away, I get glow-in-the-dark paper. Let me get some hot glue here. This is glow-in-the-dark paper. And I'm going to put that on there. And then I took a little hot glue and I put it right there in the center. And I put a pretty little locket in the center. And I turn this locket into a lip balm. So it opens up into a pretty lip balm. And then it's actually a very magical glow-in-the-dark matchbox fairy. Watch it how it glows. Ooh. So you get like a perfume bar and a lip balm and all that stuff with it, and it's so fun. I bet you didn't know that they actually had something called glow-in-the-dark paper. I'm just trying to inspire your childlike heart. I want us to be children and smart. I want us to be highly intelligent children in our hearts and to bring back that childlike nature. So look, this is glow-in-the-dark paper. Glow-in-the-dark paper, you can cut it into little strips and make amazing things out of it. It's so fun. It looks like a portal. And it looks like you can put your hand through it. What? Yes. So go out in nature. Get a piece of wood. Turn it into an angel. Get a matchbox. Turn it into a gift. Give it to people. Find a mask, a piece of wood out in, some bark out in nature. Uh-oh, get that off. Hold on. It got stuck, didn't it? Okay, well, there we go. And make the coolest mask out of herbs and wood and acorns and flowers, right? It would cost nothing, really. And these are ways to distract ourselves from being in distress from all the shifts that are going on. Allow your child to play. Allow your child to like heart to feel magic. It's very important. You will become very powerful. So today we're going to be reading for Brandon. Let me go turn my light back on. So welcome, Brandon. This is your lucky day. Spirit brought a dragonfly, but one of the wings is broken off. So if you are going through a quadrupling and your fourth wing hasn't grown fully yet, we'll see what Spirit has to say. And we're going to look at some cards and see what Spirit has to say about your energy today. Courage. I think that we are in a boat and it is time to relax. It's time to go with the flow, like a divine flow. And sometimes when we're in this waiting period, waiting to ascend, waiting to activate, waiting to hear truth and knowledge, it takes a lot of courage to stay in the boat without wanting to run back into yesterday going, I just want it to be the way it was, you know. So relaxation and courage are the two cards brought to you today. So I just want you to know that I will not be talking to anyone until the end of the reading because I want to stay focused on Brandon's energy at this time. And I'm just looking for Brandon to see if Brandon's here. Are you here, Brandon? Want to make sure. I believe Brandon's TikTok is something like esoteric something, or starts with the letter E. Okay, yeah, esoteric. E-boy. E-B-O-I. Okay, I gotcha. All right, here we go. Let's get Mushi the butterfly is going to anoint your papers. We're actually going to do a couple of papers. Why? Because, I don't know, something, Spirit is asking me to do a couple of different ways of looking at yourself. So Mushi loves you. Mushi is raising the vibes of your paper. The paper is a dead tree. The charcoal is a dead tree. Oh, I forgot, Brandon. Spirit wanted me to show you this today, too. And, this is so silly. But, you know, if you don't have charcoal, you can go outside and burn a piece of wood and turn it into a piece of charcoal. And I saw this charcoal, and it looks like a face of a burned man, like a bearded burned man. And I was like, what? And I thought, you know what? It's so easy if you burn wood to carve it, you know? And so carved burned wood is kind of cool. And it has so many cool colors. Doesn't it look like a mask of some sort? Anyway, if you don't have charcoal, go burn wood. Then you have charcoal. Done. If I hear a song in my head, then maybe one word might be for you. Not really sure. Just whatever pops into my head. I don't know why. We kind of already did a meditation on the phone, but I'm going to reiterate that meditation. So let's do a little breathing. Breathing frequency up your nose. It's the new drug. Yeah. Okay. The meditation was Brandon and I were about 6 or 7 years old, and we were getting into trouble, kind of. What we were doing was we were in these old houses, and we were looking through people's stuff inside closets. And these closets and these little hidden rooms had papers and pictures and secret boxes. And we were looking through people's stuff because we wanted to know who people were. We just wanted to know the truth. And we didn't want to see the face that everybody shows you, like, aha, this is me. We wanted to go into the secret rooms of people and see who they really were. And we liked sneaking around. It was actually like a drug to be able to sneak around. And so this is a power of Brandon's. And some people would say, well, sneaking around isn't a power. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. But it was fun anyway. So, all right. So here we go. Looking out for love, and the night so still. Oh, I built you a kingdom in that house on a hill. Looking out for love, big, big love. You said that you loved me, and that you always will. Oh, you begged me to keep you in that house on a hill. Looking out for love, big, big love. let's see here. Let's turn that just to about there. That's probably good. No, I don't like it. Yeah, there we go. Nope, I don't like it. We're going to turn it to there. Yeah, I like that. Oh boy. Sekhmet is a vampire. She's one of the original vampires. She was a destroyer. And then you have this being who has light coming out of their eyes. They have eyes made of light. And you have some kind of contract that was cut. And you have the letter V like on its side like this, and it reflects the compass. And then you have a goldfish here. This is the golden age of Aquarius. here. And there are 4 parts to yourself that are not balanced. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your God self. This is your child self. This is probably your self now. This is your superhero self. It looks like Sekhmet to me. Sekhmet is the original. She is a lioness, and she was she was the original vampire. So, there are mountains, probably describing some place, 3 mountains actually, and contracts. You're part of a collective consciousness, so you came here, see here's the dragonfly. It only has 2 wings. Note 3. Your 4th wing is being groomed, which means your physical self is doing pretty good. I'm not really sure who the older man represents. Your younger self is very strong. Your godlike self of the vampire is missing a wing. So you are being squared with the square of Thoth. Your emotions and your beliefs are being squared at this time. There's a collision of planets here, a collision of male and female energies. And this crown it's a sun or some fire, some kind of crown. The bubbles coming out of the goldfish are huge. Bubbles actually have a significant message. These bubbles are a double dodecahedron. It means a lot of power. If you've gotten into sacred geometry and you understand behind every pleasure and every pain is a sacred geometrical shape, the double dodecahedron is one of the most powerful symbols you could possibly have. And so you have this double dodecahedron. This means that you're meant to be very powerful in the age of Aquarius, but this needs to be brought larger. This probably needs to be a little smaller. And these two are they all need to be in perfect harmony, alignment. So 1, 2, 3, 4 mountains. 4. And you're very connected to the lion. very connected to Sekhmet, very connected to some man that is part of you. There is no difference between you or them. You can have a conversation with them outside of yourself or inside of yourself, because your double has the ability to shapeshift into many people. So your double is actually shapeshifting into many different aspects of yourself to help you balance these aspects of yourself. There's a bull. It says 1. One, two. So your self is very numerical. There's the letter A on its side here. AA. Here. There's okay. So there's a cannon, an old cannon from like the 1800s, and so you, for some reason, your double wants you to know about your past. So, hold on a second. So so think about the Civil War, and let's tap into the Civil War. So there's this tree man looking like a tree man. Let me get my other pen. I'll put it a little bit closer for you to see. This tree man, and I don't know if he's a tree man, but his hair is strange. He's like a star man. Like this. And reveal all secrets, thank you. He's some sort of shape-shifting. Oh, I know what it is. You see that cloud up there? It's a cloud person. I know this sounds silly, but anyway. Okay. Think. What is the name? What are their names? They are the original race of gods, and they start with the letter V. And it's the Va, Vi, Ve, Vi, Vo, Vi. I'll look into it for you. I remember the story. I'm having a hard time with the name. V. It's showing me now. V. They were the original gods. They do not take a form. They are formless. They do not want a name. They come from predating India. They come in smoke clouds and like stars or like rainbows or something like that. And what they do is they get into the consciousness of human beings, and they help to upgrade us in the unseen world. And they, why this is connected to the Civil War, not really sure why this is being presented to you, why these 4 mountains are connected to you. hold on a second. You do have the letter Z up here like Zeus, but okay, so you have the, anytime I see a rat now, Spirit showed me what it means. So, your spirit is connected to these ancient energies. To get into it, the reason they're in the shape of a cloud or a star is because they have mana. Mana is a gas known as chaos. And it was ancient gods that have a consciousness. And you're connected to the giant rats of Sumatra, which is called the Vampires of Sussex. It's a fictional story where Sherlock Holmes says humanity is not ready to know the truth of these vampires, but the vampires are connected to Mithra from Armenia, and so these 4 mountains are connected to an ancient story, and they are people who have 2 souls, and the 2 souls are because they are androgynous. Now, your hand looked like it had 6 fingers. The 6-fingered androgynous ones were both male and female, and they had 2 souls. And so here, there's somebody who died. The 2 souled beings are, so Armenia is near Transylvania, right? And the god Ar from Armenia is one of the original gods, and they called him Our Father. So Our Father who art in heaven. And Haya was the goddess, but Haya and Ar were the same person. Like Adam was Eve and Eve was Adam. So they were, whenever you see Jesus holding up 2 fingers or Mary Magdalene holding up 2 fingers, it's a secret that they're part of like this metaphorical vampire race who were both Adam and Eve. So when you see the Pope and many other energies holding up 2 fingers like this is a secret that they are 2 souls. They are the original race of the Adam and the Eve androgynous beings. So the 2-souled beings often say, drink my blood and live forever. Mithra was the original Christ who came from Armenia, and he said, drink my blood and live forever, and so did Jesus. So the original Christ and the Mithra energy kind of comes from Armenia, Transylvania, and this area had, they had 6 fingers, 6 toes, and they have a shape-shifting abilities, but there's 3 contracts that were cut, and it looks like 3 souls, like your soul was cut 3 times. And this cutting of your soul, I don't understand it quite yet, but maybe Spirit will explain something about how your soul was cut 3 times. It's like Osiris's soul was cut 14 times, 7 for her, 7 for him. And these 2 worlds were cut in half, so Eve was cut from Adam. And this created the sun and the moon. And anyway, so your story goes back a very, very, very long time. And so there's a bottle, a sacred bottle. And and you have like an 18-pointed star at your throat. And you just have that lioness everywhere. And this is a protected place. Not everyone is supposed to be able to know this. Place even exists. It's connected to the 4 mountains, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's an invisible energy that protects it. You couldn't go there if you wanted to. Even if you tried to astral travel, these are beings who are made of light, and they're shapeshifters. And so anyway, let's put this reading on hold for a moment, but I will tell you that you are definitely connected to anything connected to the letters V. Vatican, vampire, and there's a part of you who doesn't exactly know who you are. There's a question mark there. And some of the things that you saw so you died, and then there were these beings, and your consciousness went into these beings, and then they created you from your memory going into them, and then you became you, and you're being trained to become part of the eternal body, but you're missing a wing, like I saw in this earlier today. So you come from the original soul, the one, and that is who that person is. It's an original energy. It's connected to Vishnu, connected to India, and what they call the avatars. That's an avatar. So your consciousness went into like Sekhmet, like a lion, and then you went into an avatar, and then you're being trained to become who you're meant to be. Okay, let's put that on hold for a moment. We will also learn about the double dodecahedron and how that's connected to you somehow. But let's just take it down a notch where I just want to see who you're meant to be. All right? Outside of the 4. And so I hear the ticking of the clock. I'm lying here, the room's pitch dark. I wonder where you are tonight. No answer on the telephone. And the night goes by so very slow. Oh, I hope that it won't end though. Alone. It looks to me like eventually, I don't know when this will happen. I don't know. It looks like you make humans like out of their out of water and elements like the rainbow is a soul, and you put these people aren't alive, and then you put a soul inside of them, the breath of life. This dodecahedron is one of the most powerful symbols you could possibly have, and it's something about a group of beings who take it's like these beings are being grown out of an egg. I don't know. And you're very giant, and your double self is huge, and your agenda is to take people who possibly were going to die, or I don't know what, but you go and you fill them with life, and the life comes out of your mouth like water, and they're dead. But this puddle, this water, makes life, and this dodecahedron is life. A double dodecahedron is huge. Now, it looks like you're not alone. You need to hear the voice of your double. You need to obey your double. Your double is eternal. Your flesh is not, but you will transform into your eternal body. But you have to, you see, your head is the shape of an egg. So you were a child. You were young. You were this. And they came and put life into you, but you have to grow larger and hear the voice, so that you have a purpose to give that which is dead a soul, from these beings that are really old, ancient beings, that do begin with the letter V, and it's something that I just can't remember for whatever reason right now, but they're called, and there's weird, strange beings also inside this place. They looked strange. So you work with different energies and different types of powers, should I say. I wouldn't call them beings. I would call them powers. And these powers are utilized for creating life. And yeah, so let's talk about this really quick, because you are as big as a place. And I know from doing readings in the past that gods are a place, not a person. When we ascend past the human form and we get tired of being individualized, we often merge into other energies as a collective. And then from there, this collective energy creates places, and these places begin to have names like the Age of Pisces or the Age of Aquarius. And so that your water from your mouth is pouring out water like the Age of Aquarius, you come from a body of people who are the Age of Aquarius. The Age of Aquarius is a god. It's a god that created this age to grow the soul of human beings into godhood. But we have been very ignorant for a while, and we've been asleep, and a lot of things happened. But you were chosen back in the Civil War days, or I don't know what. But anyway, so the story goes like this. Our soul is, or our being, our existence began as just one. We were removed from hearing God. We were removed from hearing anything else. We were just copycats, carbon copies of the human race. We didn't know who we were. We don't know who God is. We don't know anything. But as we begin to grow, our consciousness, our DNA, the blueprint of our very energetic body, known as the ethereal net, begins to double like an embryo if we are not feeding the matrix and feeding dark energies our power. But if you can know how to collect power and how to follow life energy, then you will go through a natural process, which is the doubling of your soul. So this is where your soul doubles, and your soul doubling creates a vesica piscis, which I call the boat. You cannot get into the ark or the boat unless you've been born again or have been twice born. This means you can only go into the ark 2 by 2. Once you get into the ark, you will be given a spirit guide. Yours is a lioness, a female. She is a vampire. She's the original vampire. Her name is Sekhmet. And here you will kind of go through very many phases. You'll go through the baptism of water, the baptism of fire. You will go through the all-seeing eye. You will go through the Ankh, the number 4. You will drink from the Holy Grail. And there are many things that will occur in your life during this doubling. If you persist in all efforts, your soul will again birth again to a tripling. So now you're in the boat, and the boat has created the Holy Dove. The Holy Dove is you hearing the voice of Spirit and sending out your thoughts and waiting for your thoughts to come back with an answer. And so your double, you can ask a question of your double, and your double will come back with an answer. When you begin to work with your double, and your double is a spirit, it's an animal. So the animal may manifest as a bird. It could manifest as a lioness. But in this ark, your animal will work for you if you can hear your animal. So this is an Egyptian concept called the Egyptian Book of Gates. It is a rectangular square, and there are many different levels. It's like a school, or like Hogwarts. It's like a mansion of many rooms, or like Emerald City. It's a place where scrub here, scrub there, you get cleaned of all that is false. But it's also a place where you become a horse of many colors, where you merge your energy with many other energies to grow your soul even further. So your holy dove or bird is like Sekhmet, and this bird or Sekhmet is growing you to become tall and stronger and more aware. So, for instance, how it works is you need to be aware that you're magical. You need to be aware that you have a double. You need to be aware that this double can speak through people, me, anyone. Have a question, send out your holy dove, send out your spirit animal. Your spirit animal will find an answer. When you start really working with your double, question and answer, and realizing that the entire world is your double speaking to you through people, then you will suddenly grow again. And this is where you are now. You're trying to balance this, and you're just quite not seeing it. As you quadruple. This quadrupling is a sacred geometrical shape also. And this is the olive branch. So when your Sekhmet, when you ask your double a question and your double goes and finds an answer for you, this is your double finding the olive branch. And the olive branch, when you start working with your double and hearing it and obeying it and seeing the answer as far as the olive branch, then you have made it to a home where you are not lost, because you can send your holy dove out to find the olive branch. Now, the olive branch is connected to Zeus, and you do have the letter Z in your piece. And you are going through the fourfold flame. So this is like a cross, where originally we were in a box, and this box kept us under mind control. But when the box opens, it ends up looking like a cross. So when we get off the cross and stop taking on the sins of the world, meaning other people's thoughts and energies that aren't ours, we seek first the kingdom of God, which is our double self. And we stop connecting with human beings. because we have to start thinking on sacred geometry, numerology, and godlike energies, because you can send your double to hell or heaven. You can send your double to the swamp of sadness or to rainbow of light. So what and who you think about becomes either a crime or not. You could literally curse yourself if you think too much on politics or something and you send your double to jerk world. You will adopt and cross-contaminate the negative energies of that world onto you and your double, thereby limiting your power. The way that your brain has to work in this new age of Aquarius is your brain is like the golden compass. Your brain is asking your spirit guide a question. Your spirit guide will see things in the physical. So you might present your spirit guide with thought forms or something in the physical of maybe a rabbit, let's say a stick, and let's say a body of water. And your double will tell you the answer and actually take you there on the dream world. If your double is thinking about, say, Johnny Depp getting a divorce from his wife or whatever, your double will go into the mind of Johnny Depp and you will feel divorce energy, fighting energy, smoking weed, depressants, maybe self-importance, some things like that. And so you don't want to seek the kingdom of chaos or depression or anger or separation or like religion and stuff like that. You want to seek first the kingdom of God, which is sacred geometry, numerology, frequency, studying alchemy, and studying symbolism, dream interpretation, and you will begin really focusing on your daily activities as a prayer. So your action is a prayer to your double. Your prayer of cleanliness is next to godliness. So you're going to clean your actions, your thoughts, your beliefs, everything. Clean your house, your car. And you may clean your diet, your friendships, your relationships. You might clean any death energy like soda, weed, or alcohol that is a depressant. And then you begin following life energy because this life energy feeds your double. In your piece, your double is small. It needs to be fed. You have to feed it the frequency of life. Life begins at 70 hertz. It's between 70 and 100 hertz is pretty good life energy. Death begins at 25 hertz. So you won't want to drink a lot of soda. Your holy temple is your body. Soda is like 0 to 15 hertz frequency. And life energy is 100 hertz or more. So make sure that you're drinking water and get into sun gazing, grounding, crystals, yoga, martial arts, things like that. And then make sure that you focus your attention on the kingdom of God and the gods, because the world is full of chaos, and the Christ on the cross that takes on the sins of the world is no longer part of our agenda. The resurrection is really becoming really good at where you send your thoughts, because your thoughts are connected to a telepathic energy that will either lift you up or pull you down. So let's look at your 4 parts to yourself. See, again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts to yourself. 4 parts to yourself. Your childlike self is great. Your avatar that you're in right now is pretty, you have a bird, so this is pretty aware. The rainbow and this God of light is something very connected to who you are. This is information. This is the question mark. This is your knowledge. Your knowledge is pretty good. You need to increase that a little bit. But the most important thing that is too small is Sekhmet. Your double needs to be fed. So think in terms of sacred geometry. Think of surrounding your body with a double dodecahedron and balance the moon and the sun within you. This is male and female energy within you. Let's talk about this really quick. Why you had your soul ripped 3 times. I guess it happened to all of us. I don't know. The triquetra is the 3 arcs. It's known as the 3 arcs. It's connected to the rainbow and everlasting life. It's the Trinity. But your ethereal net looks like an apple. So make sure that you give yourself a lot of negative ions, because positive ions come from technology like phones, cell phones, and 5G towers and computers. And an apple with a bite out of it means that technology is feeding off of your energy. So negative ions, you're a negative ion emitter already. Salt and heat makes a negative ion. So your sweat is salty, your tears are salty, and your body is made of heat. The sun hits the ocean, which is salty, so this is a negative ion emitter. But your heart chakra could actually get entangled with the World Wide Web. And your energy can be sucked away, which means you lose power, you lose memory, you lose knowledge. So you're going to want to really dig into how to get yourself into negative ions. Behind every pleasure and every pain is a sacred geometrical shape. The double dodecahedron is one of the most powerful. Since you received a reading from me and Spirit didn't refund you, then this means that you have a responsibility to really obey your double. You should never misuse sacred geometry. You now have a responsibility. This responsibility is not becoming a virus to the collective. If you have low self-worth or self-importance, you will cross-contaminate the collective. You must stay in 0-point energy and balance and seek power through seeking first the kingdom of God. And this is alchemy, becoming an alchemist. So you'll envision things like the grid of life design, which is gold, to clear all darkness, blockages, and negativity. You will envision a pyramid over your head in order to clear your avatar of negative energy so your double can have you as a sacred, holy, empty vessel to work through your hands, your mouth, your feet, and to become holy and to do the will of God, basically. You need to activate your cave of Brahma. This is the bird in your mind. See a golden light there. Understand that you can visually put yourself into a Merkaba and protect your energy, but also stay pure. How do you stay pure? Don't seek the kingdom of powerlessness and death. Seek life energy, not death. So merge your consciousness with higher forms of consciousness by activating all your sacred geometrical shapes within your energetic fields. And focus inward, a laser point of the Brahma of the brain, the radiant sun, Christ consciousness. Use your energetic muscles in your energy field. Practice understanding the 5 platonic solids and the numerology connected to it. Basically, what you're going to do is become an alchemist. Understand the symbols and just go into a cave, metaphorically, of seeking out the flower of life, sacred geometrical shapes, the meaning behind all of these things, and don't think about the world. If the world's talking about politics, so what? They're talking about train derailment, so what? They're talking about viruses, so what? They're talking about people fighting, so what? Who cares? Let the dead bury the dead. Let people who fight, fight. You have a job now, and you're being asked to step into this responsibility, and it is time to purify and balance yourself at this time. Because you have a job, and this job, if you forsake it, you may have forsook it 3 times in the past. Don't do it this time. Now you are ready to go into the age of Aquarius. This double dodecahedron and Sekhmet is ready for you to balance all 4 parts of yourself through hearing that double self. Now, of course, you know that your double self can come forward into many different meanings, but the 4 mountains here, small, 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 big, maybe a place, maybe a secret place. There is another planet here, a giant planet, really big. But, your faces are planets. Okay. These 2 energies, are creating like a new world. So you can only create with the heart of a child. Like if you were like to say a command and you said it in like a serious way, it wouldn't work. You have to have a childlike, silly, joyful, playful heart in order for you and your double to work very well. The serious avatar, the serious, These 2 people are studying together. These pieces of paper, sacred geometry, yes, you 2 are going to study together. You 2 work together to make your luminous light body, your rainbow light body. You 2 are going to work together. You 2 are going to create new worlds. So know which self you're dealing with. When it's your time to be this avatar and this king and the 6-fingered energy, then be that. But then when it's time to shapeshift into the child and Sekhmet to create new worlds and to really merge your body into this new world, then be that. But you cannot mix this serious studying avatar with her because she doesn't like it. She needs you to be a child. And that's how you're going to balance yourself. Okay, now we're ready to talk. So just suffice it to say that the number 4 is really, really big in your piece. You are one of the original something, not really sure what, and then you went to 2, and then the 3 pieces of paper. So this is how it goes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 mountains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's, for some reason, there's a progression going this way. And then this is the number 7. 5. I don't see a 6. 5. This is 7. Oh, you're welcome. I think that squaring our mind and knowing how to use our mind is very important. Like, I never listened whenever I read books about opening portals or making commands or anything like that. I didn't, there was something inside of me that, where I read a book once, I think it was the Kabbalah, where you're supposed to take a knife and you're supposed to make a star and you're supposed to do all this stuff. And I was reading that and I was like, nope. I just knew. it shouldn't be serious. It should be joyful. It should be the heart of a child. It should be this joyful, childlike energy in order for anything to really work well. Your serious self is reserved for studying. Your child self is reserved for manifesting worlds. Thank you so much, Light Body. You're welcome. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Yeah, this is for Brandon. Hi, Yaya. I'm so glad you guys are here. Hi, True to You. So this is a very interesting read. This is, usually when I read for you guys, I see all this stuff and I'm like, okay, I know what that is. Okay, I know what that is. And sometimes Spirit, it takes me a good week to kind of digest all this information. I will say Noah has eyes that are lights that come out like this. And Noah and the ark is connected to Armenia. And the ark was found on Mount Ararat. And that rat is by this mountain. There's a rat. That's Mount Ararat. And that's in Armenia. So if we look in Armenia and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 mountains, this is Mount Ararat. Thank you so much, baby. But then there's another one that has the letter Z, and then there's one that has a dragon. So what this communication is, I'm not quite sure yet. Because you're being blocked by this energy. Because your avatar needs to study with these pieces of paper. Need to study, and then your other self needs to begin creating worlds and realities and seeking, kind of like the never-ending story. You need to connect with the oracle and see your Artex alive and flying and speak your new world into existence. But only Bastion could do it because Bastion was a child. So you have to do it with the heart of a child. Oh, thank you, Yaya. I love you. How can we help teach new knowledge better to people to help things grow quicker? Oh, you're so welcome, Brandon. Thank you for texting me there. How do we do that? For myself, I'm not so sure. You have to be led by your double, first of all. Your double, you have to be obedient to that. Your double is eternal. Your consciousness will end up going into your double, creating your rainbow light body. And so you must be at the same frequency as your double to hear your double, and you should be collecting personal power and all that. That's the most important thing. You shouldn't really worry about anybody else but yourself, because once you become powerful and you hear the voice of your double will lead you to an audience or a group of people, and you will begin teaching them on whether it's social media platforms, or some people have an energy that shifts people in public. So let's say you just work at a theater, you're taking tickets and you actually touch people or meet people or get near them. You have an energy that actually raises people's frequency, you will end up doing your passion through you and your double self. people who have been alchemists in the past wrote stories like Wizard of Oz and Harry Potter to wake up the human race through symbolism. So symbolism is the spiral of the yellow brick road, the dog, the tornado, the apple tree, and the scarecrow, and the Tin Man. They were all alchemical symbols that we didn't know anything about. Harry Potter, the castle, the 7 snitches, the 7 Horcruxes, the 7-book series of Harry Potter. Harry Potter's name having 11 letters. He left it 12. All these numerologies. They wrote these stories served to awaken the human race. So very powerful people began writing stories and making movies like The Matrix to awaken the collective human race so that we would step into our adepthood and not forsake some very important things. So it's been happening for a while. Those of us who have finally awoken are now becoming the voice of God. All that matters is that you have decided to become the voice, the hands, the feet of God, and you are not the hands, voice, and the feet of those that follow death, ignorance, and suffering, and slavery, and all that. Once you're the voice of God, all you are is just an empty vessel saying, okay, I'll just do whatever you want me to do, whatever I can do for you. And once you serve God, then there will be nothing against you. Everything will work for you and your family, and everything should be in pretty good order at that point. But yeah, so Brandon, let's close this out. I want to pull this back so you can take a picture. Turn this way and make sure it's not foggy, and you can look at this for a little while. Just be aware that I'm very behind on making a video for you, so if it takes me over a week, that's just the way it is. Some things will never change. And this is your self that is half of an egg. This means that you're half man, half spirit, half flesh, half spirit. And flesh and spirit are half and half. And this means you've been balanced by gods that have been working with you for a while. So look at that and take a picture of that. Take a screenshot. And you will be raising the dead in some strange way. I will tell you this. When I'm on the spirit realm, I do kind of what you do. Your body language is much different from mine, but I actually hold people's hands and lay on top of them, kind of like you're doing, and I fall asleep. And then when I wake up, they're okay. So I know that my double does this, and I see through the eyes of my double. This is what your third eye is. And even my best friend, her son was stung by a bunch of bees, and I saw my best friend's son on the spirit realm, and his face was all really red. And I laid on top of him, held his hands, and fell asleep. And when I woke up, he was okay. But I did it the day before he was stung. So your double is a time traveler. Your double will go and heal someone unless they choose to die. Now, people can choose to die. They will have a conversation, and they may choose to leave this world. Then we can do nothing about it. But if they don't choose to leave this world, your double goes and heals people. And you're a time traveler. You will travel to people and heal them. And although they could have died, it's like the movie Donnie Darko. You're like Donnie Darko. You will heal them like a time traveler, and they won't even know that they could have died. So when I spoke to my best friend, like the next day, I was like, oh, I had a dream about your son. His face was all red, and I laid on top of him, and then he was okay. Well, he had been stung by so many bees. And according to my astral travels or the dreams, he died. But he didn't die, though. That's the miracle of your born again, twice born self, is feed your twice born self, because we have an important job to do. And that is to raise the dead, walk on water, raise the dead. And so that your hand is going underwater is a reflection that you can go through time. This is time travel. So yay, you're a superhero. And believe me, you won't do it by your own intention. But you have to understand how your brain works. You will see through their eyes. You will feel how they feel. And you will have to transmute and stand in your truth that you are nothing. You are nothing but 0 point energy. You are nothing but joy. You are nothing but that child. That's it. If you go and heal people and you begin to see through their eyes, you will think that you are them. You will carbon copy your friends and family through their eyes because you can't tell that you aren't yourself. And so you're going to have to learn, and you're going to feel how they feel. If they have suicidal depression, you will be cross-contaminated. So you have to purify yourself every day. Otherwise, it gets chaotic, and we can't have chaos. So I don't know what that star is, but you know how on superhero things they have these stars? It's like ba-bam, Shazam. That's what it looks like. It's like pow. It's like this fire energy above the head. That's your superpower. Your superpower is a child. Now, your child can do things with your double, but this Sirius guy can't. All this Sirius guy can do is learn and memorize information. Okay, so I have to go and call my second appointment today. This is going to be Heather. I know I'm double booking a lot. I'm just getting so many orders. So I'm going to go call her and I will be back. I want to thank Brandon for... We learned a lot in your reading. We learned about keeping the heart of a child. Our adult serious self should be reserved for learning and memorizing and working with history and studying. But our child self is reserved for creating worlds, creating joy, creating relationships, creating truth, and healing people on the spirit realm. Your adult self can get attacked by jerks on the spirit realm because our adult self is usually self-important or has low self-worth. Your child doesn't care. So your luminous light body, your child is invisible. So if we are full of light and enlightenment like the child often is, then the dark ones cannot see us or detain us. So just know the difference between the self that is serious and the self that isn't. And that's why when I spoke to you on the phone, we had to pretend to be children, because you have to. And anytime you forget how to be a child, just talk to me. I'll remind you that you're the sneaky child that wants to go and sneak into someone's house and raise them from the dead because they didn't know that they died. So, but only your child self can do that. All right, guys, I will see you guys here in a minute, and we will be reading for Heather. I love you. Bye-bye.